Okay, what is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome. Phil here live on the first of two gameplay streams for you today. This lovely Thursday, August 17th, 2017. How's everybody doing? Welcome to day 3 of the hardcore gaming season of 2017. Now, let's be real here, folks. Let's talk a little bit. This week, the first new releases of the non-stop new release season began. I've played 2 of them. I did not have a chance yet to play the third. It's up in the air whether or not I'll be playing the third. We'll have to see. Okay. But that being said, the hardcore gaming season started both with a bang and a whimper. Pretty funny how things could basically be both sides of the same coin, right? Shout out to Kekin, who just did a 50-bit cheer, and he said, Agents of Mayhem hype with a question mark. And there you go. I think he's really captured the essence, the essence of what this week has been. Alright, let's talk. So, this week, I've been playing 2 new games. I've been playing Sonic Mania, which I did a midnight release special stream for Monday night. And I've been playing Agents of Mayhem. So, Sonic Mania has been absolutely outstanding. A crazy-ass nostalgia trip, a romp through the gaming past of the 1990s, taking stages from all 4 of the... Or actually, take it back, 5, because it has Sonic CD stuff. All 5 classic 2D side-scrolling Sonic games, and kind of taking these different stages from the different games and mashing them together into one really awesome adventure. You know, even redoing certain boss fights and everything. It's been really good. It's just been really fucking good. Alright, I've loved it. I've absolutely loved Sonic Mania. On the flip side of that, the other new release this week that I've been playing is Agents of Mayhem from Volition Studios, the makers of Saints Row. And it seems this is the complete and polar opposite. This game, unlike Sonic Mania, taking the best parts of the previous games that they've made and turning it into kind of an amalgamation of awesome, it seems to me like they've almost taken the worst parts of the previous games that they've made of the Saints Row series and made a game, kind of an amalgamation of it, right? A game where really the entire sole focus is just generic third-person shooting. It really doesn't have any personality. They seem to have taken away the humor and the personality that the Saints Row games used to have. For some reason, I don't know why. Right? If you think of Saints Row 2, 3, and 4, alright, each game ramped it up and got increasingly more zany. Increasingly more, I'd say funny, but also irreverent. Like, it got less serious and more just wacky. But as the wackiness escalated, it would add in things like licensed music from the 80s and 90s, pop culture references, irreverent, adult-themed jokes. To the point where those games ended up being entertaining, not just because of the core gameplay mechanics, but because of the other kind of hilarious stuff that was interjected into them, right? Now look at Agents of Mayhem, the game that I'm playing this week, right? Almost none of that humor exists. When it is in there, it really fails to hit the mark. Like, for example, I did this first major boss fight. What was his name? Hellbender, or Hell Blaster, or Hell Buttfucker. Whatever the fuck his name was. I don't even remember. You're fighting him, and he's like, oh, shoot him in his balls. The weak point is his balls. And there's these giant energy balls. And he just keeps saying, don't shoot my balls. Oh, no, my balls. They probably say balls more in a good 2-minute segment than you probably heard the word said in any other video game before. And it's not funny. Hammer Smith was his name. Thank you, Eyes on Water. His name was Hammer Smith. It really wasn't funny. It was just nothing really entertaining. It was just kind of, blah. But it really felt like they were trying way too hard to try to interject adult-like humor like Saints Row, okay? It almost feels to me like these game devs were using the same assets that were used to develop the Saints Row games, but it's a different writing team, right? Like, it was a different writing team entirely, and they just didn't get it. They didn't understand what was good about the Saints Row games, and they're just trying to copy or emulate it, and it's not working. And just to give you some perspective, yesterday, my session of Agents of Mayhem was about 3.5 hours long, and I did one major story arc fighting, what was his name? I already forgot his name again. Whatever it was. Hellbender, Hellstrom, Hell's Bells, whatever his name was. So I defeated him. That took about an hour and a half to finally get through that mission structure. And then for the rest of the stream, about an hour and a half to 2 hours, I was unlocking optional agents. Alright, there were 3 more optional agents that unlocked after I beat his mission structure. The problem was, to unlock those optional agents, I had to do so much just absolutely ridiculous grinding and boring shit. Alright? That it was just incredibly just boring. Like, you go to the same underground base 8 times, even though it's supposed to be a different base. Go to the same underground base 8 fucking times, and grindingly do stupid gameplay. Wow, how entertaining. Right? I just don't know. It's just kill the same enemies in the same underground base with the same objectives 8 times. Wow, this is a good game. See what I mean? Like, at least Saints Row had some... You were fighting different gangs. The different gangs had different units. The gangs would fight each other. You'd be, unlocking zany new weapons and new vehicles. And it just doesn't seem like that's what they're going for in this game. It seems like you unlock all the agents, and then you just go through shooting shit for, 10 hours. So I guess we'll see. So here's the deal, folks. Here's the deal. Here's what we're going to be doing. Alright? Today on stream is the last hurrah for Agents of Mayhem. I've played it for over 6 hours, and I haven't done a damn thing in it yet that's really been too entertaining. Alright? So here you go. What we're doing today is a stream of Agents of Mayhem that's do or die, folks. First of all, I'm committing myself. I'm not going to do any side content. Today, I solely want to advance the story of Agents of Mayhem. And I want to see if I literally just play the story for 3 to 3.5 hours, how far we get into the game, and if it gets interesting, okay? If it does get interesting, if there's actually something worth doing in the game, like there's actually some humor, or a plot that's interesting, or some game mechanics that advance, and the game gets better, then I'll keep playing it, alright? If, by the end of today's session, it's the same shit, nothing's improved, alright? And absolutely nothing has happened that's entertaining at all, I'm done with it then, alright? I'm gonna stop playing it, because there's no reason for me to play a game that's a time sink, which is what it seems this game is. It's not. It's sad because you look at games like Tom Clancy's The Division, right? Or a game like Destiny, and you know those games are time sinks. That's what they're made to be. But the reason those games are popular and they're successful is because if you play with friends, okay, if you actually play this game with those games with friends cooperatively, you can have a cooperative experience, a social experience with your friends that ends up being entertaining in the long run, because it feels like you're cooperatively, tackling those games and having fun, sharing the gameplay experience with others, and therefore the grind ain't so bad, alright? But in this game, there's not even co-op. It's a single player grinding simulator so far. So I don't know what on earth they were thinking, quite honestly. I just don't get it. Even if they had sold this as, oh, it's the first co-op Saints Row game, and you can play with your friends over the internet, cooperatively take on the hordes of enemies with 12 different agents, I would have been like, okay, I know what they're going for. I don't know what they're going for with this game. So far, at least, I have no idea. Alright? So, it's do or die time for Agents of Mayhem on this stream. I thank you for those of you who are here. Don't worry, I saw everyone just did a ton of cheers. I'm going to read your cheers in a second, alright? Tonight, folks, it's the conclusion. The conclusion of my Sonic Mania playthrough with Sonic, okay? Now, from what I'm going to understand, number one, once you beat the game, you can play it with other characters, and I am interested to see what the game is like with Knuckles. Number two, people are saying I should go back and get the final emerald so I can unlock the secret boss and get the true ending of the game. That's great, but I don't even understand how I even could do that. Because you need to know the locations of the rings, the hidden rings, in order to actually warp to the emerald stages to get the emeralds. And I already used a bunch of those up and failed, so I don't even know if there's enough left in the game for me to even be able to do that. And number two, I'd obviously have to look it up and try to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not. I would like to, but also let's face it, these stages for the emeralds are very fucking difficult. I got 4 emeralds. Trying to get the 5th one, I've probably tried that stage 8 times now and still haven't fucking got close to even catching the thing. So I have no idea what to do with that. Okay, I guess we'll find out, but we'll see tonight what happens with Sonic Mania. I'm definitely beating the game at least one run through because I'm on the final stage. Okay. All right. So that's today. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is totally up in the air. Okay. Tomorrow, first of all, I'm only doing one gameplay stream. Just to warn everyone, there's only one stream coming tomorrow. All right. What's it gonna be? I don't know. If Agents of Mayhem somehow redeems itself here, alright, I would consider playing it again tomorrow. If it doesn't and I drop the game, then I would consider going back to, say, Siren Blood Curse and trying to finish that game up in a final session. Alright? I don't know. I might. Or, if people want to see me continue on with Sonic Mania in some capacity, either doing a second run as Knuckles or trying to get those emeralds or whatever, I would consider doing that, but I'm curious to see if there'd be enough interest for me to continue playing Sonic Mania now that I would have beaten all the stages and people would have seen pretty much the majority of the game. Are people going to come back to watch a stream of Sonic Mania of me doing stuff I've already done? You know what I mean? I don't know. Those are kind of my options for tomorrow. And then for the weekend, I'm debating what to do. I'm thinking on Saturday I'm going to do a double stream where I balance out a main stream, and then maybe Saturday night I'll play some Danganronpa. Since I haven't played it in a week, it would be nice to maybe mix that in there and have Danganronpa there. Alright. In addition, there is this other game that came out this week. It's called Observer. It's supposed to be survival horror. Some people are calling it a walking simulator. I think people need to understand that a ton of these games are going to be coming out from now on, and we're just going to have to get used to them. Because there is an audience for them, they sell, and, people are rating them well, too. Now, Observer seemed interesting to me, alright? It seemed interesting to me, but I certainly don't want to jump in and buy a game and then everyone's like, we didn't want to see this. So the thing is, it looks like I'm going to have 2 to 3 streams until the new stuff comes out this week, which is basically going to be Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, and then later in the week it's going to be the Call of Duty World War II beta. So until I get to that stuff, I need other stuff to do. And that's the thing, is what am I going to do for a few days? I could do Observer, or I could do something else, alright? So I don't know. I don't know what you guys want to see. I'm going to have to play it by ear, right? If I do end up keeping to play Agents of Mayhem, wow, excuse me. If I do keep playing Agents of Mayhem, then it won't be a concern, because I'll have something to play for a few days and balance it with other stuff, okay? I guess we'll find out what happens today. Now, in addition, I may try to squeeze in a Street Fighter 2 stream sometime between now and when Uncharted comes out next week. So we'll see, okay? Alright, so I'm going to read out a ton of cheers that people just did, and then I'm going to do quick plugs, and then we're going to get started here with Agents of Mayhem, alright? Alright, let me go all the way to the bottom here. A ton of cheers. So, let's see. Reggers 1 did a 65-bit cheer. Said, can we skip this boring game and play Finish Siren or Nier instead? It's Resident Sleeper to the max. Okay. Viking did a 66-bit cheer and said, hype. Hollow 1 1 did a 60-bit cheer and said, this is not my Saints Row. Weapon J did a 10-bit cheer and said, Uncharted Lost Legacy hype. Kekin did a 50-bit cheer. And he says, the most interesting thing is that Sonic Mania is almost completely fans turned devs. You can go play some of their unlicensed but still very good Sonic games online for free, but there's also Sonic vs. Darkness and Sonic after the sequel. Here's hoping that Sega keeps them around. Okay. Shout out to Power of V8 who did a 10-bit cheer and says, I was afraid you won't stream today. What was the reason you couldn't sleep? There really wasn't a reason I couldn't sleep. It just happens sometimes. Sometimes I just can't sleep. Every once in a while it happens. It's annoying when it does happen. And last night was one of those nights I got about less than 4 hours of sleep. Not even a lie. Not gonna lie to you. Barely slept. Sucks. But it is what it is, and I'm here today. So, fuck it. I guess Really Though 5 did a 10-bit cheer. And to turn on your TV, the whole world is going to shit. What else is new? I think people have lived these, like, really sheltered lives where they don't realize how the world actually works. And, they think that we live in this, like, this perfect world where everyone is insulated from, like, terrorism and the stupidity of politicians and all this kind of stuff. No. It's always been like that. It's just that people tend to ignore it or not talk about it. And also, you got to realize that recently, you know, now that we're all connected in this social media world 24/7, we all hear about this kind of world stuff all the time, right away. Boom, injected right into you. Whether it's on your smartphone coming right to you, or your news feed, or whatever it is that you're watching or you're doing, we now are plugged into the world 24/7 in a way that we never were before. So, you know, it's not like the old days where you have to turn on the TV to the actual world news or, read a newspaper. Now everything is injected into you. Boom! You learn about it right away. And so we are a more global kind of knowledge base on all the terrorism and shit that's going on. Every day there's terrorism, folks. Every day this stuff happens. It's not anything new. It's just that now you hear it more and more, and people are like so shocked at something that's always been a constant. Quite honestly. But yeah, a lot of shitty stuff happening recently. Not much I can do about it besides play games and try to entertain you and take your mind off of it. So let's see if I can do that today. Okay? Shout out to hold on. The cheers just pushed everyone off here. Here we go. Sonic Wii did a 10-bit cheer. He says, after you beat Sonic's part of Sonic Mania, you can grind out emeralds in any zone, replay the last stage, and fight the real final boss. Well, if that's the case, I might be willing to do it. So I hope that, once I beat it, the people will help me explain to me, how to do that. If that's what people want to see, I would consider doing that tonight, okay? Fair enough. Alright, Power of V8 did a 10-bit cheer. He says, what difficulty are you playing on? I'm playing on whatever the default difficulty is. I have not tweaked the difficulty at all in Agents of Mayhem. He says, what do you find, what do you like about the game and dislike about it? I already talked about this. I already addressed that on the pre-stream, so I don't need to go into detail about that again. Viking did another 50-bit cheer. He says, they're doing a dry humor simulator with nice aesthetics, Phil. Guess that's what he's talking about, Agents of Mayhem. I mean, yeah, the visuals of the game are actually quite nice. The problem is the frame rate, right? The game looks nice, but the frame rate tanks constantly, especially during the heavy firefights when you would want the frame rate to not be bad. That's when it gets bad, which is kind of ridiculous. Zovan did a 67-bit cheer. He says, I had a feeling this game was bad, and I'm also glad I didn't buy into it. Danganronpa. Okay. Sonic Wii did a 10-bit cheer, and he says, to get the Gray Emerald, follow its path until you get to Mach 3 and keep up the rings, and yes, the other 2 emeralds after that are easy. Shout out to Troll, who just did a troll cheer. I'm not even going to tell you his real name because he's a troll. Golden Colts did a 65-bit cheer. He says, cheers. Thank you, Golden Colts. Got another troll cheer. That anonymous to the 18-bit cheer and says, have you dropped Night in the Woods unless it wins a patron's choice? I mean, I never picked up Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods was only meant to be part of an Indies marathon. Yes, it was in consideration for something to do during downtime, but it was never a given that it was going to be something that I was going to play long term. Is it still a consideration? Sure. Is it something I'm going to promise everyone? No. Because I don't even know what's going to happen after today. I don't even know what I'm going to be playing after today. Okay? Someone here did another friggin' troll cheer, 15 bits. Not even going to bother reading it. That's the thing. If you're going to do stupid, lame troll cheers, I'm just going to skip over your stuff. So, thanks for the money, and you're stupid. There you go. Shout out to Zavon, who did another 10-bit cheer. He says, definitely, you should have played Lawbreakers over Agents of Mayhem. What? Dude, Lawbreakers, no one's playing it anymore. The game failed. It's one of the biggest video game failures in history. After like 3 days, it had like less than 2,000 active players or something like that. And no one is playing the game or talking about it at all anymore. The game is a massive sales and gameplay flop. That would have been a waste of time and money for sure. Alright, and now we've got another guy talking crazy political politics who did a 10-bit cheer, and I'm not going to read it because it has nothing to do with anything. And I already told you, my streams are not going to be about politics, so if you're going to come in here to talk about being part of the left or the right, and you believe in this, you believe in that, you could do it to yourself or talk in the stream chat, but I'm not going to be reading any cheers relating to these kind of polarizing politics, because that's not what this stream is about. Okay, then. Alrighty. Thank you to Be the Madman, who just subscribed to the channel for the 9th month in a row. He says, I would rather beat Sonic now rather than Agents of Boredom. No, I'm not doing that. I need to give this game a big chunk of time with the story and see if it gets better. I'm not going to play Sonic now. No. But thank you for the sub. Okay. So, folks, if you are enjoying my daily live streams, if you like my on-demand videos on YouTube, if you want to see me be able to cover all the upcoming new releases of this gaming season that are basically going to be coming out back to back to back for the next several months, okay? There are many ways that you can support my efforts. The first being Patreon at patreon.com/darksidefil, where your pledges aid me in affording the cost of upcoming game releases, my electricity, cost of the internet, paying my bills, and allowing me to do this for a living and, you know, keeping it up as a thing that I love to do. You know, I love being able to have my work be what I love to do, you know, gaming for a living. It's awesome, okay? Now, you earn personal perks for pledging to my Patreon, including things like text and verbal thank yous in my videos, getting your questions answered on my bi-monthly show, Ask the King, which, by the way, is happening next week, in 1 week. In exactly 1 week is Ask the King, okay? Or get a private Q&A video made, or get premium forum access. One of the coolest perks is being able to participate in the monthly goal events that we do. This month, if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon by the end of August, you'll be nominating and voting on games for my upcoming Halloween marathon on Halloween, okay? And, ladies and gentlemen, and if you also pledge $5 or more and we hit the funding goal for this month, all right, which last time I checked, we're about $125 away, but I haven't checked it recently. I got to refresh it. If you do pledge $5 or more, you'll be voting on what kind of Halloween costume I'll be wearing during that Halloween marathon, okay? So there you go. It's a dual goal this month. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, I'll be honest, not a lot of people really paying attention to my Patreon recently. That's not a good thing. I know that I don't talk about it all the time, but just think about some of the awesome Patreon events that I've done recently. I just did an Indies marathon. I just did a full run of Sonic Adventure 1 that then turned into a full run of Sonic Adventure 2. And I'm still doing a Dying Rampa 2 full playthrough that I'm almost done with. All of that stuff is because of Patreon, folks. Patreon has been amazingly cool to all of us. All right? Please consider pledging if you have not. It really does help, and it's an important part of my income every month to be able to help pay my bills, all right? So please consider it, all right? So that's number one. Number two, there's my Teespring. I'm really not going to talk too long about this. You know it exists. There's merch there, cool quality stuff. In fact, someone by the name of Solid Nemesis just posted up today on Twitter that he's wearing one of my new shirts. Really likes it, all right? And I love the shirts too. In fact, today you'll see I'm wearing one of the shirts from my Teespring shop. Anything that you buy from my Teespring shop gives me a significant commission from the sale. All right. So, yes, please, folks, consider checking something out there on my Teespring. The link's been on your screen the whole time here. There it is. And thank you to anyone who has, purchased anything in the past. And of course, last but not least, folks, what people have been doing already, and what I hope, obviously, more people will do during the course of today's stream, if you cheer with bits, if you subscribe to the channel, or if you tipped me during the stream, that helps out significantly. In fact, it's been these three methods that have allowed me to keep doing this daily for a living ever since the YouTube adpocalypse crash of February and March 2017, from which YouTube has never recovered and, in fact, is just getting progressively worse. I even posted up yesterday on Twitter, YouTube changed their fucking policy now that if they decide to demonetize a video of yours because of their algorithm that automatically searches for certain keywords and shit in the descriptions and tags of your video, if they demonetize your video, you no longer even have the ability to dispute that and get them to review it unless that particular video got 1,000 views in the last week. The problem being most of the videos that get demonetized are old videos. Like, I've got hundreds, if not thousands of videos from my 8-year run here on YouTube that have been demonetized, and I can't dispute it or have anyone look at it because they're old videos and no one's watching them anymore. So obviously I can't get 1,000 views in the last week. It's absolutely ridiculous. And YouTube is just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It really is becoming a place where, sadly, only the upper echelon elite of video creators can do anything with it. There's no reason to even focus on it anymore. And you're going to find more and more people who used to be pure YouTubers are now going to be diversifying. They're going to be opening Patreon. They're going to be streaming a lot more. They're going to be trying to do other stuff because YouTube is becoming a fucking wasteland of crap. They have completely destroyed their own website and their own business with their own asinine choices. Okay? It's their own fault. They don't know what they're doing. And I've said this for years, and people always said, oh, Phil, he's just complaining. He's biting the hand that feeds them. I warned all of you for years that this was going to happen with YouTube. I warned you about algorithms and automation instead of actually having practices in place and things to check if, the website was being profitable and doing what advertisers want. I've talked about this for years. You can go back and check my pre-streams. You can go back and check my vlogs. But, no one wants to listen to me. I'm just some nobody, right? I'm some asshole who sucks at games and makes videos and, I don't know anything. Although, it's all coming to fruition now, folks. But anyway, as I said, YouTube is falling apart. Therefore, the only reason I'm able to still do this for a living is because you guys and gals are very supportive on every stream that I do, okay? Thank you to everyone who cheers, subs, or tips during the course of today's stream. If you do so, I will give you a shout out. In fact, I have to do a couple shout outs right now. Let me do them. Let's see. Shout out to Chili Dog Sonic 1 did a 10-bit cheer and says, I'll be in Seattle this weekend for a business trip. Do you have any good recommendations for good eating establishments? Yeah, anywhere down near Pike Place Market. In particular, there's a couple nice restaurants in that area. Seafood style restaurants. What I would recommend is going online and checking out, some online blogging and reviews about people who are in Seattle. There's one place that I went to a year ago. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like the something door, and it's not even labeled that it's a restaurant. But if you know where it is, you can get in, and it's a really good food. It was where I actually had I think I had octopus there for the first time ever last year, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember. I had something there for the first time last year, ever. And it was really good. Yeah. But that's the kind of place Seattle is. It's more like hipsterish. You got to know the places. It's not like you can just go there and walk around and find a good place. You need to kind of do some research online, look at Yelp and that kind of stuff, and you'll find some good stuff. All right. But yeah, I like some of the food in the Pike Place Market area. It's pretty good. All right, shout out to Dooley, who did 100-bit cheer. Shout out to Viking, who did 101-bit cheer. I believe Viking is now currently the cheerleader for today's stream. Alexander Rossi did a 15-bit cheer. He says, do the small 10 to 15-bit cheers help out? I feel guilty tipping under $1, but money for me is kind of tight right now. Well, let me put it this way, folks. Every little bit helps. It doesn't matter how big or small your cheer may be. All right? It doesn't. It really doesn't. Everything adds up and contributes. That's the truth of the matter. You know, you got to think about some of these days when a cheer war breaks out, okay? And, you know, sometimes it's not even like one person doing a lot. It's like a lot of people are all contributing $1 or something like that, you know? But it just builds and builds and builds. That's the way I see it. I don't really care if it's a big cheer, small cheer. I mean, obviously, I'm very appreciative of people who step up and do these big cheers and tips. It's awesome. It really does help a ton. But I'm appreciative of everything that I get. All right? I really am. And, you know, it's pretty awesome that I have you guys and gals coming out here every day. You know, for every little bit that you've contributed, it helps, man. It really does. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want you to understand that it's not about, oh, you didn't give a giant fucking, you know, donation. How dare you? You know, that's why, you notice, I read the shout outs for every size of cheer that's not a troll cheer. You notice that, right? Alright, let's see. Weapon J did a 10-bit cheer. He says, you should check out a game called Nidhogg 2. Fun fighting game. Never heard of it, and probably not going to check it out, quite honestly. I really don't understand. That is, I mean, I will say this. Why do people cheer and always suggest a random game out of nowhere? Like, I understand maybe it's a game you're playing and you like it. I'm about to do a gameplay stream. Chances are, just because you cheered and said, oh, you should check out this game, I'm probably not going to drop everything I'm doing right now to check out this game. It'd be one thing if, like, it was related to what I'm streaming, but, like, it's not just Weapon J, it's everyone's been doing this. They cheer, they say some random stuff. I don't know. Maybe people just want to, you know, throw an idea out there, but it really isn't effective when you do it during a gameplay stream like this. I'm just saying. Thank you, Dooley, for 150-bit cheer. Now he is the cheerleader for today's stream. Thanks, Dooley. And Phoenix Rush Free just did a 15-bit cheer, and he says, what is your favorite store in the mall and why? Well, if you're talking about my local mall, I would say it's this place called Lunchbox. They are a pop culture store. They have all kinds of stuff from all kinds of walks of life, you know, of pop culture. Television, movies, video games. And it's all kinds of collectibles, merch, clothing. It's a really neat store, but it's basically shit I don't need. But it's a cool store to walk through and just look at stuff and see what they've got. If I didn't have all these crazy t-shirts and stuff that I already have, I'd probably buy a whole wardrobe there because it's so many cool things. You know, Rick and Morty, Dragon Ball, and, you know, all the shit that I'm into. But I certainly don't have any money to go in there and blow on buying a bunch of fucking shirts that I already have quite enough, all right? You know, it's not just shirts either. It's all kinds of you know, like I said, collectibles and merch and stuff. All stuff I don't need. And shout out to Kekken, who just did the 10-bit series. He has a lunchbox at his town, too, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's a new chain that's actually busting out in the United States. I don't know about anywhere else, but I'm pretty sure it's a United States-based chain that's actually spreading right now and getting more popular, so. All right, folks. I think that's it. I think it's now time for us to begin with gameplay and see if Agents of Mayhem can redeem itself. All right? Like I said, no lie. I'm only going to be doing story today. I'm going to be focusing on the story. And that's it. We'll see how it goes. And go from there. All right, folks? Hopefully the story will pick up and make the playthrough entertaining for you. If not, it's like I said on Twitter. Today's make or break for Agents of Mayhem. If the game sucks, it sucks. Let's make fun of it. If not, if it picks up, let's enjoy it. But either way, let's try to have a good time here today. Okay? Fair enough? Alright, one final shout out from Tyler the Hexed. He says, if you're a massive fighting game fan, how come you hate the Dead or Alive series? You've only played it like once in your 10 years on YouTube. Because there's only been one release in my 10 years on YouTube. That's why. And I'm not exaggerating, excuse me. Oh, it's Box Lunch. That's right, it's not Lunch Box, it's Box Lunch is the name of the store we've been talking about in the mall. Box Lunch. But anyway. When I started on YouTube, Dead or Alive 4 had just come out beforehand, the year beforehand. And I actually had played a lot of that game on the Xbox 360. But when I started YouTube, it was already old and no one was playing it anymore. It was dead. So obviously I didn't play that. And then when Dead or Alive 5 came out, I did cover it. I played it. I played through the story. I did some online play. And that's it. There hasn't been a Dead or Alive 6. Yeah, there's been a million versions of Dead or Alive 5. But I'm not going to play the same game a million times. Right? We're waiting. You know, if they ever make another Dead or Alive, would I consider playing it? Sure. There hasn't been any Dead or Alive, so I really don't know what you're talking about, Tyler, with your cheer. I haven't been ignoring Dead or Alive. It's just that there's nothing... It hasn't been available to play, right? Alright. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you being patient. Let's now begin. And let us see, ladies and gents, how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. We're about to find out. Agents of Mayhem, the last hurrah. Let's do this.